And we're live. Hi everyone, welcome to October Office Hour. We host an office hour every month for you to ask program questions and for you to learn something new. This office hour is on Firefox OS Development Dive. Hope you are excited. Before we get started, just remember that there is an etherpad where you can write questions that you have about the program or about the presentation. The etherpad link is in the description. So go ahead and just go into the description and click on it, and you can write your questions there. Another thing, we have an IRC group, hashtag Firefox Students, where you can go on and you can chat with other students who are also attending office hour, and you can ask your questions there. One more thing before we get started, if you haven't gotten the October newsletter yet, one thing that we are doing is a survey on your mobile device. So please go on it. It's mcl.la/FSA phone survey. This will help us understand the type of phones that you guys are using and help us better target future campaigns. Thank you so much for taking that. Okay, I will stop screen sharing. Today we have, hello, my name is TJ. I'm the community manager of the FSA program. We're going to do a quick introduction. Next up, we have Tanay.
Hi, I'm Tanepant, and I'm the communications lead for the FSA Executive Board. Feel free to connect with me on Twitter or through email.
Santosh?
Hi guys, I'm Santosh, technical lead of FSA program. You can connect me on Twitter as well as Facebook.
Awesome, and today we have our special guest, Jay. Jay, would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so hey guys, I'm Jay. I work at a startup called DoSelect at Bangalore, and I've been reviewing applications for Firefox OS like for 3 years now, and yeah, that should be it.
Awesome, thank you so much, Jay, for coming. You can go ahead and get started your presentation. The students are super excited.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I guess let's get started. So the thing is, I cannot ask questions to you guys right now. So whatever questions you have in the middle, just please note it down or put it in the etherpad or tweet me. I'll answer you as soon as the session gets over. So let's get started without any boring stuff. So about Firefox OS. So what is Firefox OS? And see, one thing you guys have to understand is before getting into app development or anything, you have to make sure you understand the architecture pretty well, because only then you can explore whatever is there to the maximum extent of the OS. So the outline for today would be architecture of Firefox OS and what are web applications and what are web APIs, that's web application programming interfaces, and debugging and validation of the web applications that you're going to develop, and testing of the applications, and publishing to Firefox Marketplace. So Firefox Marketplace is like Google Play Store. It is where all the web applications, whatever you build, whatever other developers build across the world, will be pushed there and can be downloaded to Firefox OS mobile phones. I hope it's good. All right, so let's get into architecture. The thing is, the agenda. This agenda is like for half an hour from now, so I won't be going to the very basics, but I'll make sure you understand what all you need, and I'll give you all the links to resources, whatever you need to get started with application development of Firefox OS. It's pretty simple. So all right. So and these slides are online. I'll share the link as soon as the presentation is over. You can note down the link, and yeah. Okay, so basically the Firefox OS is a complete web-based application, web-based operating system. So what I mean is it is of 3 simple layers. The complete operating system is of 3 simple layers: Gonk, Gecko, and Gaia. So Gonk is the basic low-level Linux kernel, which is what on top the Firefox OS is built. And if you guys have used Firefox Firefox web browser in your desktop machines, so you would have known how the HTML is being parsed. You know, HTML is not a programming language; it is a markup language. So you know what this Gecko engine, the same Gecko engine, is used in your Firefox web browser as well. What it does is it just reads the HTML and parses and shows it on top of you. So this Gecko is a rendering engine. And on top of that, so Firefox OS uses the same rendering engine because Firefox OS is completely web-based. And on top of that is Gaia. Gaia is the front end, the top layer, the front end layer of Firefox OS is the user interface. And if you're confused about B2G, B2G is nothing but Boot to Gecko, the code name of Firefox OS. I hope you guys are clear with the architecture, and let's move on. So the complete Gaia is written on HTML for the interface, CSS for making it responsive and styling, and JavaScript for all the dynamic interactions, which makes the complete OS web-based. And it is running on top of Gecko, which is the same engine used by your Firefox web browser. So developing a web application, it is really simple. And also when you're developing apps for Firefox OS, even everything is simple, like you're writing your code, testing it, and all these things. So how it is like better than Android. So just think, when you're developing something for Android, you need to download all the bulky JDK and those Eclipse and all these things for developing Android. But in Firefox OS, if you have a Firefox browser, preferably a Firefox Web Developer Edition browser, it is as simple as that. You can do literally everything, starting from writing the code till testing, publishing, everything inside the browser itself. You need not go out of the browser and do anything else. So these are the major, the first four steps are the, not the five, first four steps are the major things to be considered when developing an app for Firefox OS. So as I said, the complete OS is web-based. So whatever app you're running is also web-based. So whatever app you write for Firefox OS is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, nothing else. HTML for interface, CSS for styling, and JavaScript for dynamic interaction. I hope I'm live. All right, all right. Okay, so these are the first four steps. Create the app manifest. So manifest is nothing but your app, whatever app you're writing, you'll have a basic structure of index.html and something.css and app.js or something. So this will be your complete app. Along with that, inside your app, the contents will be there. So the metadata of your app, like app name, app description, and all these things will be stored in a file called manifest. It's a JSON file which is suffixed with .webapp extension. And yeah, I'll talk about manifest a bit later. And appify the code. What I mean by appify the code is, see, whenever you're developing applications for mobile to be used in a mobile device, it should be responsive. So consider for this screen, if I do this, then it is like responsive. It is completely cleaner in mobile. No one likes scroll bar in a mobile phone. So when you develop an app, there should not be a scroll bar inside the phone, at least not the horizontal scroll bar. So that is appifying the code, which means you have to style your CSS accordingly and make sure you give the better experience for the user and validate the markup. So HTML is not a programming language; it's a markup language. So validating the markup means your HTML might work well, but you have to make sure it goes along with W3C conventions, and yeah, in the end, publishing the app. All right. So yeah, so the benefits of developing web applications. So guys, you will not be developing apps on any other language like Java or C++ or C# or anything. This is just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That is it. The computer is web-based, think web. So yeah, the benefit of this is you can reuse any website. If you already have a website or a web blog, you can just easily wrap that with you can easily embed the manifest, zip it, and push it. That is it. And you can use features of the browser like local storage, offline manifest, IndexedDB for local storing, and the APIs. Like I can see one question being asked in the etherpad. Okay, I'll answer that later. So I would like to know how Firefox API connects with devices like camera and all these things. I'll explain you everything. Okay, and another thing is responsive web design. Your website should run everywhere on any viewport, on any mobile small screen or tablet or any big or large screen or something. So that is the thing. You write your code once, and if it is responsive, it can literally run on any devices. And yeah, let's get started with the manifest. So manifest is nothing but this file. So this file will be named as manifest.webapp. The extension is .webapp, and you can see it. It is self-understanding. So name is my app, your app name, description, launch path. I'll tell you about that. And icon. So when someone is downloading, it needs an icon. So apart from the app, you have these metadata tells everything about your app. So consider you have a web app structure of index.html and styles.css and app.js. So the launch path for you would be /index.html, which means whenever someone downloads your Firefox OS app, the first thing it will check is the manifest, and then it will check for the launch path, which is /index.html, and it will render the Gecko engine will render the index.html and shows it on top of you on Gaia. And yeah, so the first four, name, description, launch path, and icons, are mandatory. Without this, your manifest will be invalid. And developer name, URL. So this is the basic structure, and I'll let you know more about this a bit later. So this is the manifest reference, and for your reference, you can go to this URL anytime. It will be live always. Go there and get this live. And this is the reference for the manifest. This is the bare minimum manifest, out of which the first four keys are mandatory. Okay, so as Santosh was telling, this session is for some contest which needs where you guys developers will be using camera API and notification API more to develop apps. So I'll get started with the basic APIs, what API means in Firefox OS, and what APIs are there in Firefox OS. And later I'll explain you how to use the camera API and alarm, the most misunderstood API, alarm API. So consider you are developing a small 1 minute. Let me keep track of time. Okay. So yeah, consider you develop a small application with a button, a text box, and a call button. So whatever number you type there, like 9 something something, and on click of call, a call should be made to someone. So this is your application. So what you have to do? You need API. You need system access to get permissions to access the telephony, to make the call. System should give you permission. So the complete functionality, whatever you're going to use, will be written in JavaScript. The complete logic will be in JavaScript. You'll be writing in JavaScript. So VRTL is declaring the telephony object, and then whatever it is, TL.dial, whatever number you grab from the text box, put it there on click of call. That is it. A call will be made. So this is how you're not supposed to change any of the cases or whatever it is. You should do exactly like this, because this thing will ask the system, get permission from the system, give you the complete object which you can use, and you can do whatever you want with that object. And of course, the reviewers will check whether you're doing something bad with the app or not. The same thing like web SMS. So you have a text box and a send SMS, a number, mobile number, and a send SMS button, where you type the mobile number, type the message, and on click of send, it should send to the specific number. So you get the permission from the system of SMS, you get the object from the Firefox OS system, and then you SMS.send. You bind the text boxes with these two fields, and that is it. Parse it as arguments, and that is it. On click of send, the SMS will be sent. So these things should not be changed. It should be used as exactly the same when you're building apps for Firefox OS. And yeah, audio and video. So this is the camera part. So consider you're developing an app which needs camera access. Camera access, I mean, is by camera, where you can do audio, video, and also the microphone access. You need both the access because for video you need microphone access, right? So that is the thing. So the best part is from Firefox OS 1.4, you have the get user media, object. This is pretty standard. As if you guys are experienced with WebRTC, you will know. So this get user media will check for all the possible devices wherever this code is running, and will give you an object to access those devices, like for camera, front camera, back camera, and microphone. And when you get, see, that is the first part. You get the object from where you can access the system internals, and then with the object you play around. So this is the cycle. And after that, after getting that object, you do all these like you can understand it. So you have a element in your HTML from where you're getting this video element, and then you're passing the media stream. This object will give you a stream, a URL from where you can the complete whatever it is, like in front of the camera, whatever is being streamed will be live streamed to you in this URL. You can do whatever you want with the URL, like embed a video tag with src, this, and that is it. Whatever is in the camera will be shown on the device. And of course, make sure whatever you're doing in JavaScript, you have to handle the errors. You have to catch the function, else it will fail silently. So if you want to take selfies with your app, then you want the front camera access. So how to do it? So this is the piece of code. See, all these codes are in Mozilla Developer Network, which is developer.mozilla.org. It is called MDN, where you can find the complete documentation about Firefox OS, how to develop, how to contribute, everything about Mozilla's products, open source products. And yeah, so to get the front camera, so this is the thing, the audio true and video true. This is a constraints object where you have to set video is facing mode, front if true user, if it is false environment. So when you make this constraint object and pass it on the first line, pass it on as an argument to get user media, that is it. You'll get the front camera, and the URL, whatever you're getting in video.src will be the front camera's URL. You can do whatever you want with that after that. The log is up to you. And another important thing. So if you notice, before you do all these things in your JavaScript, you need to specify the permissions in your manifest file, whatever manifestation I show. In that, you have to add another thing called permissions with audio capture and description. This description is what are you going to do with the camera. So viewers will check this. So okay, so you are going to capture audio with get user media. So which is why you're using audio capture key, audio capture permission. So you have to define this in your manifest. Only then the system will give you access. After getting the access, you get the object from the system, and you can do whatever you want with the logic. That is it. And I hope that is clear. Because the time is just half an hour, I cannot cover so much. And okay, whatever questions you have, feel free to type in the etherpad. I'll answer every single thing. And the alarm API. This is the most misunderstood API of in everywhere, Android, iOS, everywhere. Alarm API is not just for alarm apps. So alarm API is nothing but a push this notification at a specific time. That is it. This is alarm API. So all these. So you get a date, and whatever date where you have to push something. So this is for pushing local notifications to your device. So you have an app. On click of that, after like 5 days, a notification should be pushed. Like it's been 5 days since you started the app. So this is how this alarm API works. You get what time you have to set this alarm, and then title.value. So what title, what notification should be pushed when you do. So if you, for instance, when you have an app, on click of that, after 10 days or at this specific date, you should tell 2 days date is this, and it's your birthday. So that string, whatever is being pushed, should be data.task. And you're usually getting the permission for this also. You have to specify the alarm permissions in your app manifest, and then you get the object from the system. After defining the permission, you get the object with via request, all these things, and then on success, the alarm successfully scheduled. which means your alarm is scheduled, and then you have to respond to alarm. So in case if see always whenever you're using any feature in your OS, it might not be backward compatible or it might not exist. So always check if that object exists. Only then if it exists, get into it and do whatever you want. And if alarm.data.task, new notification, and that's it. This needs notification permission. So for whatever app I was talking for last 2 minutes, you need two permissions. One is alarm and one is notification. All right, so let's so this is the thing. This is a basic how so this is answering how can you use the system internals? How can you use the hardware of your Firefox OS from your JavaScript code? So that was it. And for testing your application out, you have if you have a Firefox developer edition, Firefox browser, and then you get Web ID, Firefox Web ID, where it is a Web ID. It says it all, Web Integrated Development Environment, where you can have your app.js or CSS or images or everything. You can code here on the right. You can see select runtime and click on that and download any version of Firefox OS. It is like around 60 MB. That is it. And to simulate your app. And also when you're on Linux or Windows machines, you have to press Control Shift and K, or in Mac Command Shift and K. You get the developer tools window from where you can debug anything, because whatever app you have built is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and it can work completely perfect in your Firefox browser itself. You don't need a real phone to test this out. But of course, like Alarm API or Vibrate APIs won't work with the desktop because your desktop cannot vibrate. So these things you need a mobile phone, a Firefox OS phone to test out these APIs. Except from that, you can use almost everything in your browser itself. And these are the references. And yeah, so publishing the app, I guess I missed out in the slide. So you have to go to marketplace.firefox.com, and in the footer you can find a developer hub. Click on that, and it's completely self-explanatory. You click on, so you have your index.html, app.css, and app.js file. Along with that, you'll have a manifest.webapp file. So these four files make your app. You either zip it or you can host it. You can host this app somewhere in your browser, in your server, like with your name.com slash Firefox OS app, where you can host this HTML, CSS, and JS, and that is it. You can just give the link to Firefox Marketplace, and we'll get the manifest from there, and we'll do everything else. So either there are two things. One is packaged app, and one is hosted app. Packaged is zipping, creating a .zip file out of these four files I said, manifest plus your app, or you can host it and give the link of the manifest wherever, whichever domain you hosted, give the link to Marketplace, and we'll get it and we'll do everything else. So these are the references. So if you want to if you want this building blocks UI component, so you can completely concentrate on your logic, not the design. Then you can find all the UI blocks in buildingfirefoxos.com. And yeah, this is for marketplace.firefox.com/developers is where you can find all the information related how to submit and all these things to Marketplace. And to get a more detailed, more generalized overview of the Firefox OS, you can go to firefox.com/os, and that would be it. And oops, that image did not display. Okay, there was a Twitter logo there. So if you have any questions, just tweet to @dovetax. Don't ask me what dovetax is. Just tweet to it, and I'll reply. And I guess we are good to go now. I'll answer those questions, whatever you have asked. A bit of questions.
Yes.
In etherpad.
You have a few questions. That was awesome. Thank you for fitting all of that in within like 20 minutes. I know it's very hard and it's a lot of context. I'm going to share my screen now to see questions, and Santosh, if you can help read the ones
Yeah.
Firefox OS.
Yeah. So the question number 1 is how to implement or install Firefox OS on an Android device.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. So how to install Firefox OS on an Android device? So am I clear?
No, you are not. So just copy the question and paste it on the chat box. I'll answer.
Okay, here I can say it. The question was, how can you implement or install Firefox OS on an Android device?
All right, all right. So it depends on your bill, like on your mobile phone. So consider you have any other any Nexus or something. You can go to developer.mozilla.org and just search for Firefox OS build for Nexus, and you'll get it. You can just download the build and flash it on your mobile phone.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. The next question, and I guess you kind of answered this during the presentation. It was how the Firefox API connect with devices like camera.
Could you just tell me which question or which color it is in the etherpad, because I could not hear you guys properly.
Um,
Just paste the question in the on the chat box and I'll answer you.
right there.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So Firefox OS, Firefox API connect with devices like camera. So I explained you, right? You get the permission from the system internals, and after that you get the object. You get a chance to fetch the camera object from the B2G internal, and after that you can do whatever. If you're pretty familiar with JavaScript, you know how to use the object, the complete camera object. It will have every details about the camera, like the width, the height, and the camera quality, the camera name, everything. Any more questions?
Yeah, I pasted one question on the chat box. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. So that was the question I answered, I guess.
Yeah. So
How?
so one
Okay,
the
okay.
next question is like where can we learn about basic Firefox OS app development?
Okay, okay, awesome. So I guess Tanai is here. He just released some book on development of Firefox OS, and also what are the technical skills you need. So that is HTML for the interface, CSS for styling, and JavaScript for all logic and dynamic interactions, API, everything. So HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, those are the three technical things. And I guess as a follow-up, you'll get the link of whatever book he has written on getting started with Firefox OS development.
Yeah. So awesome. So the next question is how can I contribute in the development of Firefox OS, and what kind of technical skills do I need for that?
All right. So the Firefox OS, the top layer Gaia, it is being tracked in GitHub. So if you go to GitHub and type Gaia, Gaia, you you'll get a page where the complete code is open source, yeah, and there are a lot of issues there. So we use a bug tracker called Bugzilla. It is bugzilla.mozilla.org, where you can just go search Gaia bugs. That is it. You'll get a list of bugs. You can choose whatever bug you want, click on it, and get started with it. So the major technical skills you need to contribute to Firefox OS is you need to know about JavaScript mainly, and then if you want to contribute on the front end, it's HTML and CSS. That is it.
Cool. So you got one more last question. So the question
Mhm.
is, where can we get more information and how can we practice and learn more about APIs?
APIs. All right. So if you go to developer.mozilla.org, that is Mozilla Developer Network. Just Google or search it in DuckDuckGo or somewhere. You get developer. You go to developer.mozilla.org. There's a very nice search bar there. Just type web APIs, WEB APIs. That is it. You will get the complete list of APIs. It's support on various versions of Firefox OS and every detail how to implement that, example, everything. You'll find everything there.
Well, we are done with the questions and we are perfect on time. So
Mhm.
TJ, you can take over it.
Awesome, thanks. I think we have one last question that's being typed right now. It is, hi, my doubt is that do we have any restrictions in making an app or some kind of copyright?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Could you just paste it here? I
This
could not.
Yeah, I'll ask the question. So um, the doubt is
Okay, I got the question. So my
Yeah, okay.
doubt is, do we need have any restrictions? So the copyright is completely out of scope of whatever we are doing now. So it is about app development. If you have some proprietary code, then of course you need an open source it. You can just zip it and put it on Firefox OS because the copyright is completely out of scope of this thing. It depends on whatever you want to do with your app's licensing. That is it. If you want open source, put it on GitHub or Bitbucket. If you don't want it to be open source, do not put it in your system. That is it. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, that is all the questions that we have for you, Jay. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Do you have any last words to any students who may be interested in Firefox OS development and want to get started?
Yeah, so there's I guess you will be sending out a follow-up mail or the next newsletter maybe to Firefox student ambassadors. I'll curate some 3 or 4 links and I'll give it to you, and you can just send out to all the developers or all the Firefox student ambassadors who subscribe. And yeah, probably in the next newsletter, they'll get to know every details and every links where to get started and everything. Hope that helps. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I will definitely send those out to the students who are interested. And thank you again for coming. That was super helpful.
All right.
This video for the students will be up on YouTube to be viewed if you'd like to reference it later on. Thank you again for coming, and thank you, Santosh. Before we leave, Santosh has an announcement for everyone.
Yeah,
All right.
I got an announcement to make. The contest is on for August to October, and you should make an application using camera and alarm APIs. The deadline is October 25th. Go and make your app. Get creative.
Awesome. And Santosh, if anyone has any question about the app contest, can they contact you, and how?
Yeah, I'll add my email ID to the etherpad, and if anyone got their apps under review, so just mail me with the app details, and I'll get it reviewed soon. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for an amazing office hour. Thank you both. We are going to head off now. So students, we'll see you next month in November. Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.